Goodbye, Joe. Me gotta go, me on my own. Me gotta go for the pillow down the bayou. Roy Vaughn, sweetest one, me on my own. Son of a gun, gonna have big fun on the bayou. Well, jambalaya, crawfish pie, Philly gumbo. Tonight I'm gonna see my Michelle me home. Pick guitar, fill fruit jar, and be gay home. Son of a gun, gonna have big fun on the bayou. Okay. Tippy-do, Fontano, places buzzing. Kinfolk come to see you Vaughn by the dozen. Dressing style, go hog wild, me oh my oh. Son of a gun, gonna have that fun on the bayou. Well, jambalaya, crawfish pie, Philly gumbo. Tonight I'm gonna see my Michelle me home. Pick guitar, fill fruit jar, and be gay old. Son of a gun, gonna have big fun on the bayou. Oh, John. Goodbye, Joe. Me gotta go, me on my own. Me gotta go for the hero down the bayou. Roy Vaughn, sweetest one, me on my own. Son of a gun, gonna have big fun on the bayou. Well, jambalaya, crawfish pie, Philly gumbo. Tonight I'm gonna see my Michelle me home. Pick guitar, fill fruit jar, and be gay old. Son of a gun, gonna have big fun on the bayou. Well, jambalaya, crawfish pie, Philly gumbo. Tonight I'm gonna see my Michelle me home. Pick guitar, fill fruit jar, and be gay old. Son of a gun, gonna have big fun on the bayou. Said son of a gun, gonna have big fun on the bayou. Oh, well, the son of a gun, gonna have big fun on the bayou. Thank you.
My People by Langston Hughes. Dream singers, storytellers, dancers, loud laughers in the hands of fate, my people. Dishwashers, elevator boys, ladies' maids, crap shooters, cooks, waiters, jazzers, nurses of babies, loaders of ships, porters, hairdressers, comedians in vaudeville, and bandmen in circuses, dream singers, all storytellers, all dancers. God, what dancers! Singers, God, what singers! Singers and dancers, dancers and laughers. Laughers? Yes, laughers, 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 loud-mouthed laughers in the hands of fate.
As Part 3 begins, Dick Dale had once again hit the road, crisscrossing the country. In May 1982, Dick Dale and the Deltones played the 67th National Ring Show at the outdoor stadium. It was used because the Swing Auditorium was demolished earlier that year. A small private plane crashed into the building on 9/11/81, rendering it unstable. In October 1982, Dick Dale was one of the many artists appearing at radio station KMEN's 20th birthday concert at the Paris Hill Bowl in San Bernardino. In the mid-1980s, Dick Dale moved to 29 Palms because he enjoyed the solitude. He would live there for the next 3 decades. He built a hangar and airstrip for a Cessna private plane that he used to fly to gigs. He called his property the Dick Dale Sky Ranch. In 1988, Dale and the Deltones played the 73rd National Ring Show at the Budweiser Pavilion. They shared the stage with veteran surf band the Safaris. Perhaps the biggest break in Dick Dale's career was when filmmaker Quentin Tarantino chose to use Miserlou over the opening credits of his 1994 movie Pulp Fiction. The release of the movie soundtrack sold over 2 million units and earned a Platinum Record Award for Dick Dale. This usage regenerated interest in his music. In 1996, a Dick Dale guitar solo was added to Disneyland's Space Mountain attraction soundtrack. In 2001, Dick Dale made a triumphant return to the Inland Empire when he headlined a concert at the 12th annual Route 66 Rendezvous in San Bernardino. At the concert, Dale received a Lifetime of Achievement Award, recognizing his impact on the cruising era. He played the first Joshua Tree Music Festival in 2003. Inland Empire drummer Dusty Watson has been a part of the local scene since the 1980s. During that decade, he performed with such IE bands as The Press and surf music revival band John and the Night Riders. From 1995 to 2006, Dusty Watson worked and toured with Dick Dale. When Dick Dale died in March 2019 at the Loma Linda University Medical Center, it was Watson that confirmed his passing to NPR News. Of Dale's death, Watson said, "The legend and king of surf guitar has passed. Condolences to family and friends and all those who were touched by your undeniable presence. Rest in peace, friend. Thank you for everything you gave, Dick. You always told me you were going to play until the end. Love and respect always." Dick Dale's urn is on display at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery in Los Angeles. But the king of the surf guitar lives on in the memory of those in the Inland Empire that saw one or more of his numerous local appearances, or heard his music played on area radio stations.
Got a double wide in my own MORROW vineyard. I got plenty of space to park my dually truck, and I never have to deal with LA traffic. Life is good, they call me the king of Bakersfield. I work from dusk to dawn for Paramount Pictures. Set carpenter and all around handyman. While back in Bakersfield, I got a sinner, low and beauty. Life is good, they call me the king of Bakersfield. And we got wide open spaces for my friends to come drink beer. We got a stage in the back with a band to step in all night long. We got some motorcycle riding neighbors. We never have no trouble round here. All my friends say you live like a king out in Bakersfield. So do what you want if you ain't hurting no one. It ain't nobody's business how you live your life. Well, I'm a red state union man from California. Life is good, they call me the king of Bakersfield. Life is good, they call me the king of Bakersfield. Life is good, they call me the king of Bakersfield.
Really?
Now we're cooking.
Now we're cooking. And so in this last segment, my friend, I want you to read, because it seems like a great trajectory from the beginning of the book where the plane is landing and you're going into this space and you find yourself and ancestors and all sorts of parts about yourself, to the last poem that seems to summarize, for me, it seems to summarize the whole collection.
And the journey too, right?
We want to start with diaspora. That would be great.
Great. Diaspora. The island of Tinos is home to West Wind. I learned right after Monthaw's friend rented me the car and told me to hold tight to the handle when I opened the door so it wouldn't rip off or I'd have to buy a new one. The wind throws dust onto every possible surface. I park in the driveway and hold tight to the handle. I'm at the age where I trust night to shift into day. Here in the pulse of morning, I measure my heartbeats with words. Boston is a wet gray bowl, far from the olive tree on grandmother's land. She made a deal in exchange for 2 apartments and a marble foyer. A stump stands in what's left of the yard. I am home and far from it. Zephyrus rushes rain into my window and slices the silence. Water pours into the ground. In Thessaloniki, I visit the cemetery with my aunt to see the grave of her mother, my grandmother. We pass naked excavations that once honored sacred remains. What's left, delved among bones of the dead, are 3-cornered heads of coffins exposed in the dirt. There's no land, my aunt explains. After a while, we just need to make room. She's dead now too. The accents and letters of my Greek ancestors gutter in my mouth. Parakalo, Efcharisto, beginning, end, alpha, omega. There's no end to the combinations I could make. I translate Greek to English, English to Greek, every word made up of 2. Iconoclast, nostalgia, dyslexic. To remind me where I'm headed, I throw ashes at the ancestors.
When I read that the first time, this line, throwing ashes to the ancestors, is what carried me along all through the book. And maybe I didn't even know it yet, because as a homage, right, to ancestors, I started to look at myself and I'm saying, I this rich Native American background, and I know nothing about it. And I said, how wonderful that you're able to inhabit these ancestors or honor them or address them in this book. What did you know about your ancestors when you started into this process? Because they seem so vibrant.
But the short answer is not much. I only met one of my grandparents. I only met my mother's mother, right? So my maternal grandmother. But my mother's father died, I think it was probably before I was born. And I never met, the same with my paternal grandfather, and I never met my father's mother, which to me is really sad. I really wish I had known them. But the knowledge of who they are comes to me through a variety of images and stories that my parents have told me, as well as understanding the language, understanding Greek, so speaking their language, understanding something about the culture. And so it's kind of a bit of a recreation on my part, like not making up the story, but making up the story for myself, because it's not so much who they were and what they did as much as what's important is how I feel about them and how I feel about myself as a Greek. And in that way, I come to know them in some sense. They were from an island in Turkey that had no written records of births and deaths, or maybe they did, but I'd be very surprised if I went there if I could find any documents about my ancestors. So it sort of comes to me through osmosis, not to get too hocus pocus about it, but you know what I mean? It's sort of like it's in the blood. It's in the blood.
And I think that's sort of the magic of poetry, is that it takes a risk. It's a form of discovery, just like the whole book is a journey. You got to discover places and people and feelings and connections that weren't available to you before you wrote the poem. The truth emerges or is released, and I feel that way about the book.
There was something that you said a little earlier about how what I didn't know, and through the poem, there's the realization of it. And that's really what poetry, that's a very astute comment, because that's what poetry is about. You sort of don't know what the destination is until you get there. And what's wonderful about writing poetry is getting to that end point that you didn't know was your end point, that it gives you a realization that you didn't have before.
I wanted to close on the notion of ancestors, because I got a chance to know your blood. I got a chance to know these important people and places and feelings by reading your book. So this is the book, my friends. Adjusting her. There we go. Yeah, we go. We have matching versions. There we go. And Anastasia, thank you so much for being on the Lo-Fi Lounge. This has been a wonderful conversation.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. I've really enjoyed it, and it's helped to make me more and more comfortable. You know, talking about even just talking with you, there's sort of that sense of discovery about the book and what was I really writing about? So it's really wonderful to hear your reactions. Thank you. You can get it on Amazon. Let me say that if you key in Nike adjusting her sandal, what will come up is all of the Nike products, all of the Nike shoe products on Amazon.
Right.
So if you type in my name, Anastasia Vassos, you can find the book that way. And the other thing is Nix's Mate is the publisher, is the local small publisher. And you can go to their website, Nix's Mate, and find it there.
Perfect. I'm so glad we got to talk. See you soon, my friend.
See you soon, Chris. Thank you again.
Thanks so much.
I remember you. You're my distant star. Deep into your blue, and closer where you are. I can hear your words. Can't you hear my song? Deep into your blue, back where we belong. I might be only sleeping, but you can help me count the ways, 'cause I can't dream for days, and I remember you walking through the rain, across the fields of gold, but never back again. And maybe I'm still sleeping, but you can help me count the ways, 'cause I can't dream for days, days, can't dream for days, days. Hold on, secret heart, words that we could make ring true. Wish that I could start again with you. afraid. In my golden slumber, you can help me count the ways, 'cause I can't dream for many were just sleeping. We could take it all away. We can't dream for days, days. Can't dream for days, days. Can't dream for days, days. Can't dream for days, days.
All right. In keeping with our topical theme of being grateful for what you have in this life, here's a Chris LeRoy, Johnny Hickman song, penned by two friends who have been writing songs together for 40 years. I think some of you will know this one, and those of you who don't, welcome to the family. Well, I'm lucky for my fingers, got a lucky bed to sleep, lucky thoughts that linger, lucky as I leap. Sometimes I turn my mind to days before we broke into. So lucky for the times I spent with you. Now some would call it destiny. They say we don't put our feet. Yeah, but me, I don't believe that stuff. Sometimes I believe you make your luck. Sometimes I turn my mind to days before we broke into. Yeah, but I'm lucky. Yeah, I'm so lucky for the times I spent with you. What could I ask for? Yeah, what more could I do? Yeah, what more could I ask for? I owe so much to you. Yeah. I'm lucky I'm still dreaming, lucky to have cried. Yeah, even lucky for the bad luck, just lucky to have tried. Sometimes I turn my mind to days before we broke into. I'm lucky, I'm so lucky for the times I spent with you, for the times I spent